Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm looking at a video called What is a Dark Gentleman? Let's look at the video and find out.
What's a dark gentleman?
I'm a dark gentleman.
So dark gentleman is a term I've coined to reflect a man who has both dark triad characteristics in some capacity, but is also benevolent. So he's not your, psycho Chad, narcissist.
Yeah, I don't have dark triad traits, so maybe I'm disqualified from being a dark gentleman. The way I like to put it is that I'm a nice guy, but I don't take shit. So maybe the not taking shit there requires some dark triad parts in that, but I don't think so. I think you can do it with honesty, trust and respect.
So he's not your, psycho Chad, narcissist that wants to sleep with women, but he also incorporates the 3 Ps, that is parental investment, protection, and provision.
That sounds a bit hand-picked to me. It sounds very similar to another term that's used, sigma male, in terms of alpha and beta male. You've got sigma male, which is like an alpha, but outside of the system. So it's like the best of both qualities. It sounds very hand-picked. I think every man would like to think of themselves like that. The underdog that is doing good, that is the fucking man. And like, it's a very generic term that a lot of guys would go, oh yeah, that's probably fucking me.
So it's this what I like to call a unity of contradiction. So combining 2 things which are in logical contrast, but molding them together such that they work in harmony.
I think that is the thing that you do have to do though, and like the way that I put it is that I'm a nice guy that doesn't take shit, and that's what you got to be, and that's probably the not taking shit bit. And it's about having boundaries. You say yes to some things and you say no to other things. And if you say yes to everything all the time and are a nice guy, then people can come in and emotionally affect you. If you say no to people, then you're closing the door on that and you're setting up a boundary so that you don't allow people to come in and take your emotional energy and then end up feeling resentful. So some people build walls so that no one can get in, and so that's not practical. And some people have open windows so that people can come in and press their buttons and manipulate them all the time, and that's not good either. So the way that I have it is doors. You say yes to some things, you say no to other things, and that's why this is behind closed doors.
That's really interesting. So
Yes.
That's because there is a particular degree of attraction.
This guy reminds me a bit of me, like when I was young and handsome. I'm not that way anymore because life has been cruel to me, but luckily I'm red-pilled and can deal with it.
Degree of attraction that women have toward dark triad traits. Why is that?
Yes, those men are sexy, right? These characteristics make these sorts of people seem as though they're important, right? There's that danger that is often attributed to a man that is psychopathic or Machiavellian. And
you see, this is all very different to what Jordan Peterson is kind of saying, because he's saying things like this.
So if you want to, the best way to be attracted to women is to be competent. And then, like confused women, especially young ones sometimes are attracted to sort of Machiavellian guys that kind of have a psychopathic edge. And the reason for that, and it's only the case with young and inexperienced women because the older women get smart and that doesn't work anymore. But the reason that it works is because the psychopaths mimic competence. Because they're calm and confident. And usually people who are calm and confident because they're competent, but if they're psychopaths, it's just because they're calm and confident. And there's a narcissism that goes along with that that's also easily confused with competence. And so that's partly why women like bad boys when they're young. It's more complicated than that, but that's part of the reason. So, dress like you're in the top 10%. That'd be a good start. And, one of the things that I find rather appalling about our current society is the proclivity for virtually every adult to dress like a 10-year-old kid. It's like, that's your goal? What the hell? What do you think? A woman's going to be attracted to a 10-year-old kid? What kind of, especially if he's 40. It's like, that isn't going to work. And you can be all bitchy about that, which I wouldn't recommend. It's like, oh, women, they're so picky. It's like, yeah, they're not picking you.
that is often attributed to a man that is psychopathic or Machiavellian. And with narcissism, it makes perfect sense, right? A guy that dresses well, has, smiles, is very attractive, in other words. So he fulfills that Chad component, but a man who is fully on the dark triad spectrum doesn't necessarily fulfill the dad perspective, which women are also looking for on a long-term perspective. So if you're actually combining the short term, which is the dark triad aspect of it,
Yeah, it's basically a dual mating strategy.
and the long-term perspective, which is the dad, triple P perspective.
They're opposite ends of the spectrum, and I think in biology they call it R and K selection, I think it's called. So it's based on short-term and long-term mating strategies.
Triple P perspective, you're getting the perfect guy, in a sense. You're getting that unicorn.
Because you need an element, or most men with elements of dark triad traits are more successful in short-term mating opportunities, but make bad long-term mate prospects. So
Yes.
getting yourself...
Yeah, so why are women sexually selecting short-term bad mate prospects? And this is the question I'd like to ask Jordan Peterson, because he seems to be promoting the opposite. Jordan Peterson seems to be promoting the idea of build a better beta, be a better simp. And it doesn't make sense to me. Clean your room, wash your dick, and then girls will want to suck it. It's like, well, yeah, cleanliness is important. There's a thing that that other guy says, Rollo Tomassi, I think it is, women make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. So a lot of the rules for life can go out the window because they're not applicable. And they're very... Peterson's idealistic view on the sexual dynamics between men and women are a very good kind of stable. That is one side of it, yes. It's a very orderly way of looking at the approach to a long-term relationship. But there's also chaos as well as order. And I don't think he focuses so much on that. I know that he's done videos on like 1 billion wicked thoughts and stuff, but he hasn't really connected the two in the same, because they're completely different ways of going about the mating process. One's a lover, one's a provider, and they're different, they're completely opposed. And it kind of explains why the more you're interested in a girl, the less interested she is in you, and the more you aren't as interested in a girl, the more she's attracted to you. It's a very windscreen washers kind of thing. It's very frustrating for a lot of people.
So
Yes.
getting yourself through the door, so to speak, with the dark triad traits, and then continuing and adding longevity to the relationship with your 3P.
Who cares about getting through their door? See if they're good enough to get through your door. This is what I don't understand. You shouldn't have to qualify yourself to women. They should be qualifying themselves to you.
Adding longevity to the relationship with your 3Ps, so the Chad and Dad.
Yes, precisely that. So I was actually having a conversation with Jordan Peterson about this, where he was saying that women want a man that is disagreeable, but also agreeable at the same time, because disagreeability is actually a law of diminishing returns, where, if a man is disagreeable in a...
I've never understood the agreeable, disagreeable thing, because it depends on context, doesn't it? You should hit somebody, do you agree or not agree? If somebody's attacking your family, then maybe you want to hit them to ward them off. Whereas if you're just going randomly down the street and just hitting people for no reason, then probably you shouldn't agree with that behaviour. So it really depends on what the circumstances are. So this is why I don't understand. You could flip agreeableness around to disagreeableness in a heartbeat, depending on the context. So this is why I've never understood the whole thing of highly agreeable and disagreeable. The same with all the things on the personality spectrum. I don't quite fully understand it.
his workplace, right? He's probably going to get an advance, as we discussed in terms of economics. They typically make more money. But in a domestic setting, a high level of disagreeability doesn't work very well. So if your wife tells you, hey, baby, go take out the trash, and you say, no, I don't want to do so, I'm disagreeable, it's probably not going to be conducive to a long and happy marriage.
Bollocks. That's bollocks. I don't like people telling me what to do. And so if somebody said, oh, hey, baby, take out the trash, I'd tell her to fuck off. I'd walk out the door, I'd leave the house, I'd not play that game. Who's in charge here? Who's telling who what to do? Who has the right to tell anybody what to do? Oh, be submissive for a long-term relationship. Oh, makes me feel sick.
But it's as with everything, man. You need a balance.
Yes.
You don't want to be out.
No, you don't need a balance. What it is basically you should trust yourself. Or I base it on three things: honesty, trust, and respect. You should be honest with yourself. You should respect yourself, and you should trust yourself. And the same is true with your partner. They should be honest with you, they should respect you, and they should trust you. And vice versa, you know, you have to project that out and receive that. So that has to be the whole parameters of the relationship. So if you lack honesty on either end, or respect or trust, then it's going to destroy the foundations of the relationship. There's going to be huge imbalances in life because that's the nature of life. It goes up and down like that. That's why you say, I'm going to be with you for better or worse, because you're kind of saying no matter what, I'm going to stick through you through all these good times and bad, through all the chaos and the ordinance, for the highs and the lows. You don't want to balance, you want to counterbalance the extremes of life.
Yes.
You don't want to be out on the top 10th percentile or bottom 10th percentile of anything, ever, really.
But aren't women looking for the top 10% of men? So, is that true?
I tried to justify the number one competitive advantage in the modern world is to be 10% autistic over a Thanksgiving dinner the other day. You just want, it's like, you know, that the Salt Bay guy, you just want that much. You want that much autism. And it's, yeah, precisely. Just a smattering, you know?
I think there's probably some truth to that, because you want to have that sort of gung-ho kind of fuck you mentality where you kind of just go off and do your own thing.
Yep.
And kind of just throw caution to the wind, but you kind of have to dial it back.
Yep.
In a sense, well, I'm going to use this is going to get me canceled if I use it, but it's sort of a tropic thunder term. I think the phrase is go full retard, as it were.
Yep. That's fine. I used that last week on the podcast after
I don't mind
talking about Jordan Peterson.
I'm not famous enough to get cancelled, so I'm okay.
So you've got a quote here from the article we're talking about. A man who is too ingratiating is ultimately a man who is too desperate. His inability to tell a woman no is a direct reflection of his over-eagerness to please. Contrary to popular belief, telling a woman no in specific circumstances is an attractive quality, as it signals that a man is not a pilot doormat.
Abso-fucking-lutely. And the other thing as well is it's easy to tell women no. Just don't give a fuck about what they think about. Don't care about it. Don't care about their opinions of you. Like, know what you want. Go for it. Aim for it. And just be who you are and do what you want. And they can come aboard or they can not. It's up to them. It's not a nasty thing. You shouldn't pander to the needs of others and try and supplicate people, because that's when you do that, they're less attracted to you. Whereas when you go on your purpose and you do the thing that you want to do in life, they can choose to come with you.
Yes. You'd be surprised how sexy saying no is to a woman, because you're sort of putting your foot down, you're taking a stand, you're saying, I'm the man in this.
Again, who cares about what is sexy to a woman? I do not give a fuck. Whatever I do or whoever I am does not matter in reality. All that matters is what's in her fucking imagination. So I could be a really nice guy. I could be a beta male. I could be, a simp. Or I could be a bad boy. I could be a bit of a rough devil. I could be anything to her. It's all in her imagination. It's got nothing to do with me. So that's why you can't care about what women are thinking about, because they could be thinking anything about you. You should care about what you think about you.
Of putting your foot down, you're taking a stand, you're saying, I'm the man in this situation. And a lot of women, not all of them, but again, we use the term on average, are looking for leadership within a relationship. And sometimes that requires saying no and taking the bull by the horns and really taking the steering wheel.
And also making decisions, right?
Yeah, you've really got to listen to your gut instead of listening to what everyone else says.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, if you're in a relationship and you're constantly stressed and you're worried about life, would it not be better if you had someone who was able to make decisions in a cogent manner and is able to lead you along? It's not to say that women are incapable of making decisions or a man is more capable of making decisions.
Yeah, someone that's dominant probably struggles to see how somebody can be submissive. Somebody who doesn't like to be told what to do probably doesn't understand how somebody could like to be told what to do.
But it's just that less stressful when you have someone there that is clear of thought and clear of mind and is able to make decisions.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say to the people that say, why is that the man's job? Why can't that be the woman's job?
Well, it can be either one of their jobs, right? It sort of depends on the relationship. I guess the point I'm trying to get across.
It can be a man or woman's job. It's not a case of man or woman, it's a case of masculine and feminine. So you can have women that have positive masculine energy in the same way that some lesbians do. In the same with the gay guys, you can have men that have effeminate energy. So even when you look at homosexual couples, there's kind of like a masculine feminine dynamic, even though it's same sex. So it's not so much about the sex of the person, it's more about the masculine feminine dynamic.
I guess the point I'm trying to get across here is that it's not, different relationships work differently for different people. And so abiding by the stereotypical notion that men should always be the leader in a family, I don't think is true if it doesn't work for you and your partner.
I don't think it's about the masculine feminine either. I think it's about positive and negative. You know, it's like with the parents and stuff, it's sort of like a parent can tell you something in a positive way or they can say it in a negative way, even though they're trying to deliver the same message. So I don't think it's so much like, you know, masculine is bad and, you know, feminine is beautiful and rainbows and all that kind of stuff. It's not a case of that. There's both can be evil and both can be good. So I think that it's about looking for positive traits from both the masculine and the feminine.
For you and your partner. So it may work, it may be the case that it works for most people, but some couples might find it easier if the woman makes all the decisions, financially, socially, whatever it is.
You do need a polarity, though. Having two agreeable people or two disagreeable people is a recipe for a fuck up.
You always need a polarity between the two. It's a good point you've raised here. Is that one sort of guy that was writing on this idea? I forget who he is and what the book was, but he said that for a good relationship to work, specifically when it comes to sex, is that you need a ravisher and a person that's ravished. And the same thing applies here in a relationship, right? You need that polarity, right? That unity of contradictions.
What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. That was a very good video. Thank you very much for producing it. Just to sum that up, I think the original Dark Gentleman was Batman, and I am Batman, just to let you know. Hello, my name is Doug and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.